how like well-traveled everyone is, and just that all of you guys have kind of seen us and probably the growth. 18 years this year we've been in business. Just really humbling to kind of be here and see all of this. Early 2007, we found the space in Bushwick. There was no street lights in the kind of 6-block radius that we were in, which at the time was called the East Williamsburg Industrial Park. What brought us there was this kind of creative energy that was happening in Brooklyn, and a lot of it was being kind of moved further east. So I think probably all of you guys saw this kind of transition from the artists and the creatives moving from Manhattan in the early 2000s, like the East Village, West Village, and kind of moving towards Williamsburg. And as Williamsburg kind of became a fun, cool spot, obviously prices went up and people just kept moving further east, staying along the L train line. So at the time, there was kind of this really great emerging art scene, and there was a lot of musicians that were living in Bushwick. And we found ourselves there, Chris Pericchini and I, who were the original founding owners of Roberta's, because we were playing music and we were involved in the art scene. For us, we thought, wow, this is such a really cool, unique neighborhood. And it lacked kind of a place for all of these really cool, amazing people to gather. We knew we wanted to do something. And the way we came to pizza was because we just believed it was such a communal type of food. And it felt like it was a moment where people could come together and bond over food rather than sitting down, each individually ordering a dish, having your own thing. If you've been to the original Roberta's, it's all communal seating. It's benches. We cram people as tightly as possible because the original idea was for it to be a watering hole. We really wanted to bring the community together, and we wanted to kind of force people who wouldn't maybe necessarily interact with each other to become part of the community that we thought was so amazing at the time. Over the years, it really kind of blew our mind because I think it became even more than what we thought it could be. When you have a concept, there's some things that happen that are just magic in the bottle that are like really hard to recreate. And that for us was really the energy of that neighborhood. We just couldn't have picked a better location to start our first business because the energy was like, you could feel it percolating, but it hadn't bubbled yet. And when we got in, this explosion of energy happened in that neighborhood. The very first thing we started doing was mobile pizza. We purchased an oven, we put it on a flatbed, and this was before these ovens were mobile at any moment. We miraculously made this work. We placed the oven on a flatbed, and the very first thing that we did was in Williamsburg at the East River Park, they had a music festival, I think in 2009. That was really kind of the first thing we did outside of just operating the business. And it was so widely popular that we pretty much developed a whole mobile pizza operation. And we invested in another oven, and really kind of the growth started from there. And it was a lot of music festivals and Art Basel. We did Scope New York. We did the Googa Mooga, Coachella. And that was really kind of the beginning of us expanding and trying to figure out how to kind of bring pizza, bring the idea and the concept to other people. The first brick and mortar that we opened outside of Bushwick was actually across from Grand Central in the Urban Space Food Hall. We had that location for 12 years. I believe we opened in 2011. Our next concept was in Culver City. And at the time, Culver City was kind of another place that was really cool in LA, but it wasn't really popular. And we thought that this was an opportunity to try to be part of a new voice. We really kind of understood that like growth, where we could be a part of change and be a part of something kind of being revitalized. That was our first full service restaurant. And part of that is that pioneering kind of mentality that we had. And also just trying to find places where we felt like there's creative people around.